Sour Patch candy. And I said, Sheriff, what's going on there? And he said, that's not candy, that's drugs. Because the Mexican drug cartels have figured out that if they discover... Hi guys, welcome back to Trails Through Daybreak, Legend of Heroes. It's going to make it easier to Let's see, we're in chapter 1. It's easier to disperse it all over our communities, and every single one of us knows what's going to happen. That a little kid is going to open up a packet of candy on an American playground and he's going to pay for it with his life. And when we talk about securing the southern border, the Democrats talk a whole big game about compassion. Well, compassion starts for American leaders with American citizens and the safety of their children. Compassion, my friends. Compassion starts with securing the southern border and not letting this poison into our communities in the first place. Compassion starts with giving American citizens who are caught up in this terrible problem of addiction the opportunity to have a second chance before they take something laced with fentanyl and it destroys their life. Our message to Kamala Harris is that we want our leaders to be compassionate, and we are a compassionate people. But the American president owes his compassion first and foremost to the American citizens who built this great country, not the people who don't have the legal right to be here in the first place. So we have now 13,000 illegal immigrant murderers in the United States of America. And the media will fact check and say, well, some of them are prison. And my response is, all of them ought to be in prison, or by the way, not in this country to begin with. We've got 16,000 rapists and 425,000 convicted criminals, illegal aliens in the United States of America thanks to Kamala Harris's open border. That is more than twice the size of the United States border. Think about that. That is what has been welcomed into this country, not just welcomed, not just encouraged, but rewarded sometimes with benefits that are paid for by American taxpayers. Now, one of the biggest lies of the Kamala Harris campaign is that we want to do, meaning Republicans want to go after Social Security and Medicare. Well, Donald Trump has been the president who has protected Social Security and Medicare, and he's going to do it again. But you know the way to destroy Social Security and Medicare is to give these benefits to illegal aliens. And that is exactly what Kamala Harris is proposing to do. So if you're a senior, or you're just a person who thinks that we shouldn't throw our elderly folks into poverty, then join the Trump campaign, send the illegal aliens home before they bankrupt the programs that our people rely on.
Keep an eye on that. That is J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate. He is in Macomb County, which is smack dab in the north, in between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So they're spending a ton of time in Pennsylvania for understandable reasons, with 20 days to go. And we're going to talk a little bit about the latest line of attack by Vice President Harris against former President Trump. She is talking a lot about the fact that she thinks in this week is fit to serve, and we heard some of that here. And you have to ask, why is the staff doing that? And it may be because they think he's just not ready and unfit and unstable. All right, so you get the idea there. Senior Trump campaign official Corey Lewandowski snaps back next.
You're in the military. Close with your brothers and sisters that are in the military police. When you get out of the military, you do that until you find a new job. We can talk about it. And the things that we did overseas. Not everybody can do that. How's it going, brother? We live pretty close to each other, so he's always coming over. When I go to Jack's house, we watch a lot of football, hang out, we go outside. The friendship is kind of growing into a thing. I was overseas on a deployment. I got separated from my Marines, and I got hit in the neck and broke my neck and paralyzed me. 14 years ago, I was on a training mission, did a military free fall, and some faulty equipment. I hit the ground on 30 to 40 knots, and was instantly paralyzed. was to Park City, Utah, through his foundation. I was able to actually get on ground and ski with my family. I got paid in the military, and I was still at the same time. And I was able to jump out of perfectly good helicopter, 10,000 feet. I did it. I was starting some bets last week, and it's amazing how you have these houses where they mold their chairs too. How could wheelchairs don't mix very well? Tunnels, towers, they got rid of all that. They redid my whole bathroom. That's probably my favorite part of my house. I thought they were just going to do the upgrades, but what was surprised to me was they paid off the entire mortgage. When they told me they were going to pay off, I cried. Please contribute $11 a month by visiting t2t.org.
We hope you enjoy shopping with us.
A large retail store just canceled on huge order leaving us with a ton of extra money. But you know what? That's their loss. I'm going to make it your game. For the first time ever, you get standard classic white bills for wholesale prices. Only $14.88. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, I'm going to offer my entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Upgrade to a queen size white pillow for just $18.88. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows for $29.88. And use my pillows for only $9.88. So go to mypillow.com and call the number 8. Use your promo code to take advantage of wholesale pricing for that first time ever on TV, including my standard size my pillow, only $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. We have limited quantities at this price, so limit's going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Oh, only pay for what you need.
Now's the time to go back in time and shine a light on the family journey that led to you. Detailed DNA results, inspiring family history memberships. Now's the time to save at Ancestry.
Several moments ago, Fulton County, Georgia DA Bonnie Willis reportedly now asking the court to reinstate 6 criminal charges against former President Trump and his co-defendants. That's according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. And you remember that the judge threw out some of these charges in large, saying that they were not specific enough. The case is on hold right now while appeals court considers whether Willis should step aside. The judge recommended on his former prosecutor Nathan Wade stepped down after there were revelations about their romantic relationship and the aspects surrounding that case. And as I said, so the charges brought that program back. On that and other things, I'm bringing quarterly update from 2024 senior officials. Corey, good to have you with us today. I find it interesting that the efforts to bring these cases back do not seem to be central in any of the campaigning. And for a while, it felt like all of this, lawfare, or whatever you want to call it, was going to be one of the major centers of the Democrats campaign. What do you think's going on there?
Well, clearly the Biden-Harris administration wanted to use a two-tier justice system to go after Donald Trump, probably first to try and push him out of the race, probably tried to intimidate him with the very honest moment Mar-a-Lago. But what we've seen is that Donald Trump is a fighter. He's fought back. This has been a political prosecution against him. In the cases of Georgia, in the case of Florida with Jack Smith, in the case of Washington, D.C., and obviously the case in New York. And it has only emboldened his supporters to support him more because he has said many times, and I believe it, that he's the only thing standing between the federal government coming after them is Donald Trump.
So, do you think that voters didn't respond to that? You know, that they didn't really run that it wasn't a successful, all of this stuff gets pulled up to the voters. Do you think that it didn't really work?
The voters don't care about it, Martha. What they care about is the pocketbook issues. They ask the age-old question, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? By every discernible metric, the answer is no. So when you can't put gas in your car or food on your table, or if you come into the fall home heating oil into your homes, they don't care about the political prosecutions as an issue that they want to vote against Donald Trump for. They want to vote for themselves. They want to make sure that we've got a secure border so that their families are safe. And most importantly, and every polling data indicates it, it's the economy, stupid, as the old saying goes.
Well, we see that mouthful, and I just find it fascinating through all the time and I've been all of those cases. I barely hear about them anymore, although there's sort of sputtering up here and there as they try to revive them. You know, we mentioned that in the team story, it's something that parents seem to be focusing on right now. She's got 20 days to go, and she's calling the former president, all of this stuff. I just want to remind people that Hillary Clinton did something very similar at the end of the 2016 race. Let's remind people. Let's take a look at what she was doing.
His latest Twitter meltdown is unhinged.
Unhinged and totally unqualified to be president. And
He has proven himself unfit. We've never had someone so unqualified and unfit to be president and commander-in-chief.
so in order to find out how that worked out, did you find it curious that this is 20 days to go here from the other side?
Well, it's a desperate tactic because you've got a candidate, Vice President Harris, who has no policies that are going to benefit the American people. So you try and make the election, in her case, about Donald Trump's temperament. The difference is when people can't feed themselves and they're afraid of that we are now a laughing stock around the world because of our Trump foreign policy. We see our allies around the world don't respect us, our enemies don't fear us, all because of the Vice President and her running mate's administration. Well, I understand. You want to say that Donald Trump said some mean tweets? Well, that's what you can make sure that you get the fact is that Vice President Harris continues to have no policy on the she wants to be we'll take that fight all day.
You know, there are some reports that within the Harris campaign, there are some people that are concerned that she's not keeping it an active enough day, that she's not hitting enough places throughout the day. Are there any concerns within the Trump campaign or any disagreements with the Trump team about strategy as you head into these 20 days?
Well, look, the answer is no. We're completely unified, and your viewers see this every day. Donald Trump is doing multiple events a day in multiple locations. On Monday, we started in Pennsylvania, finishing up in Illinois, so he'll be at an event in Chicago that he then flew to Atlanta and did 2 events down there. And then he's done 3 events in the state of Florida. Tomorrow we'll be back in New York. As you know, we've got the Al Smith dinner and 2 other events. So Donald Trump has a tenacious schedule, and the battleground states continue to
from the Democrat side. Corey, thank you very much. Always been checking with you.
Thank you.
Any details about the Afghan nationals who radicalized inside the United States? Still a question about how all this happened and what he entered through a DHS parole program that was created during that chaotic and deadly exit as people were screaming to get out of Afghanistan. That's when he got into this country. Now, of course, I'm hearing about Harris administration.
I would like to take a moment to address my fellow veterans because I know there are so many of you who have served your country honorably, whether it's 2 years, 4 years, or 32 years like myself. One of the benefits that we as a country give you as a veteran is your eligibility for a VA loan. Not 80%, but 100% the value of your home. That's what you can get at New Day USA. Call New Day USA, 1-855-383-5199. $70,000. $70,000. That's a lot of money. If you're a veteran homeowner, that's how much you can take out of New Day. Pay off your high-rate credit cards, costly car loans, make home improvements, and put extra cash in the bank with our lower-rate New Day 100 DO cash out. With home values high, now's the time to turn the equity in your home into the cash you need. Call 1-855-383-5199.
The best part of any of those renovating videos is always the transformation they show you at the end. I'm Brian Gallagher with Brian Price from Renewal by Anderson, and he's going to show us some of their transformations.
Hey, Brian, let me ask you, what about in the kitchen? Do you have the same style you have? See, you can go from the windows and doors. For example, standing here doing the dishes, these girls totally block your way. With our window style, you can easily see the whole night.
All in a day's work.
Okay, here's the question called what makes your Anderson different?
But we do offer something that a lot of other window companies and contractors don't. And that's amazing financing. A lot of times you can upgrade your windows and doors and not pay anything for an entire year.
You know a lot of people have that.
It makes the job even more affordable, so most of our customers,
What is your window material? It's fine.
some of our windows are really low end, so they don't always last. Our composite fabric material is 2 times stronger than mine, so it's one of the last things.
Okay, let's shift gears.
Sure, this customer wanted a door with a lot more stuff. Our door's beautiful, provides enhanced security, and is designed to be watertight.
Wow, it really changes the whole look. How does someone get a price?
Just call it an appointment. We have a replacement window division of Anderson, so
Thank
we
you
can
for visiting the Weston Department
look at the
Store.
exact price that's locked in for a year.
That's
Before October 31st, buy one window, patio door, or entry door, you get the next one 40% off.
I'm proud of all my
40%
windows.
off with a minimum purchase of 4.
It's been a
Plus,
pleasure.
save an extra $35 on every window and door you buy, with no money down, no monthly payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer ends October 31st. For a free appointment with Renewal by Anderson, call 1-800-704-4200. That's 1-800-704-4200.
This place is packed today.
Retail store just canceled on a huge order they get
Not good with crowds, I assume?
But you know what?
Nah, I love it. Perfect thing to slip into when someone's tailing my ass.
It's standard classic white.
Let's see what we've got.
Only 1488. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only 1488. But it gets even better. For a limited time, I'm going to offer my entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Upgrade your queen size my pillow for just $18.88. King size only $1 more. And my body pillows for $29.88. And multi-use my pillows for only $9.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on the screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever on TV, including my standard size my pillow, only $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. We have limited quantities at this price, so limit's going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone.
So new details about the Afghan man accused of plotting an election day terror attack here in the United States. The feds say that they arrested 27-year-old Nasir Tawedi last week in Oklahoma. He had picked up 2 AK-47 rifles, 10 magazines, and 500 rounds of ammo that he had ordered. They say this is the suspect reading to 2 children, and they say that that close-up of the book shows that it is about the words that are martyr deaths in the afterlife. U.S. officials are now saying that they believe he was radicalized after he came to this country under a program to help our allies after that very memorable exit from Afghanistan. Ruth Jacobs joins us, national correspondent, reporting live from Washington, with more on what we know about this man.
Hi, Martha. And officials have struggled, honestly, to explain how Tahiti entered the U.S. after the withdrawal. There are multiple bettings and was planning to kill as many Americans as possible on election day. So confusion. Payne Lyle would realize initial statement that he was approved for a special immigrant visa because that involves Martha the most stringent vetting. That never happened because Tahiti didn't follow through on his SIV application. Today, officials clarified Tahiti was vetted 3 times. First to work for the CIA as a security guard, second for humanitarian parole to enter the U.S., and a third time in 2023 to extend humanitarian parole. DHS Secretary Mayorkas is standing by the recurring vetting process.
When we vet an individual, it's a point in time screening and vetting process. If we obtain information subsequently that suggests the individual could be of danger, we take appropriate law enforcement action. That is exactly what we did in this case.
And officials claim the system worked in this case. They believe Tahiti was radicalized 2 years after coming to the the U.S. and apprehended after the information came to light. Although it's unclear what identified him as a threat, this guy was just very little about it. In 2022, some of our police were vetted in the U.S. who were not fully vetted to complete info, and now there are questions, Martha, over whether he was part of a larger global ISIS terror plot. The FBI shared with authorities in France a relative of his was plotting a similar attack there.
Yeah, that's the question that comes to mind throughout this whole report. Is there are there others who will plan this as well? So thank you very much, Good Gentleman in Washington. Graphic new video from Aurora, Colorado, a place that has been very much on the map. Take a look at this. A management company claims that this is a staff getting beaten up at one of his apartment buildings, and police confirm that they arrested a Venezuelan gang member for an assault at that building that same month. Senior correspondent Alicia Cunha put these pieces together for us, reporting live from Denver. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Martha. CBZ management says it is just now releasing these images of the November assault to, quote, set the record straight, and that it backs up its claims that gangs have taken over some of its complexes. The victim ended up in the hospital after CBZ says he was attacked by a group of men inside the Aurora apartment building when he refused to take a $500 bribe after he found them in a vacant unit. Aurora PD arrested Yorendri Medina Jose, a Venezuelan migrant and member of Tren de Aragua, one of the 10 police already identified as belonging to TDA in Aurora. While the city acknowledges TDA is present, it rejects claims of a takeover and also points to numerous code violations and court orders hanging over the company. Now, separately, the Aurora City Council just authorized its attorney to investigate whether Colorado's governor and Denver's mayor conspired to send migrants to Aurora through nonprofits that are tasked with relocating arrivals.
People are right to know how this happened, how much money went towards it, what the state's involvement was, what the city of Denver's involvement was.
The Denver Mayor Mike Johnson's office is responding, saying the city, quote, took what many saw as a crisis and turned it into opportunity by partnering with nonprofits to help thousands, adding, had it not, there is little doubt that many of the 43,000 people who arrived in Denver over the last 2 years would today be sleeping on the streets. And the governor's office also says if no one finds evidence of crime, the state will work with law.
The story just keeps getting more twisty and interesting. Thank you very much, Alicia. Alicia, keeping on that one. Hours away from a must-see election interview here on Fox and Vice President Harris. We're going to sit down with our own Fox Chief political anchor, Brett Baer, for the interview that will be airing tonight at 6 p.m. Our political panel on the potential impact of Harris reaching a new audience next.
Still have symptoms from moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease after a TNF blocker like Humira or Remicade? Put that in check with Rinvoq. Rinvoq plus Stimulate is a once-daily pill.
When symptoms try to take control, I got rapid relief with Rinvoq. Check.
If flares try to slow me down, I got plastic steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when my doctor saw damage, Rinvoq helped physically reduce damage of the intestinal lining. Check.
Rapid symptom relief, plastic steroid-free remission.
And physically reduced damage. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections and blood clots are fatal. Cancers, including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occur. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
When you see that Crohn's, check and keep them there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how happy can help you save.
Application starts with how you get them. A private vet experience from one site's budget. You've got to see this. Like in your itinerary, search for over 5,000 claims.
Whoops.
Hey, and you're on your way.
Whoops.
Nothing better than a personalized meal on board. A great vacation always starts with your flight experience.
Let's do this.
Hi, my name is Tina, and
Daybreak is bound to nature supplements. Get 35% off your first set as a Daybreak customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Claim this offer by using discount code FOXNEWS. With Dexcom G7, managing your diabetes just got easier. So, what's your glucose number right now? Good thing you don't need a finger stick. How's all that food affect your glucose? Oh, the answer's in there. Oh, what if you're getting low at night? Wow, it can alert you. And you can even track your goals. Manage your diabetes with confidence with Dexcom G7, the most accurate CGM. Learn more at Dexcom.com.
A Kamala Harris exclusive and special report as the election day closes in. Inside her race against Donald Trump. Red has the exclusive in Battleground, Pennsylvania tonight.
Now's the time.
Isn't fair.
Ron? Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
All right, let's look at just taking some questions here. This is J.D. Vance, Vice Presidential Candidate, campaigning in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Let's hear a little of this Q&A for a couple minutes.
Term baby for no reason. You know, sometimes it's necessary because of the health of the mother, the life of the mother. But aborting a late-term baby is not something that we should take lightly in this country. I don't like that. I really do not like that. I think it's important to say. Now, Arjun, I, of course, come at this from a different perspective from Kamala Harris and a lot of Democrats. I want us to protect every vulnerable life in this country. I think that's really important. But the reason why, I mean, think about this. The way that we do that is to we ensure that each state is able to make its policy the way that it thinks it should. So I'm not going to tell Pennsylvanians what they should do in the same way I'm not going to tell Californians, and I'm not going to tell Alabamans exactly what they should do. I think it's important to realize the real contrast between this is that Kamala Harris wants to renationalize this issue. She wants taxpayer-funded abortion at the 9th month, and which is disgusting. Donald Trump wants to preserve the right of the states to make these decisions. He, in other words, wants to preserve the right of voters to make these decisions. And that's a big difference between him and Kamala Harris. Next question.
Question is, oh,
Yes, sir.
Trump here got the ground running, and let's hear what
Yes, sir. You know what? Yes, sir. And look, our message to Pennsylvania families is that President Trump is going to have your back. And he did have Pennsylvania families back during the first Trump administration, because a lot of folks don't remember this. But President Trump inherited, and I'm talking about the private healthcare exchanges, those exchanges were in a bit of a death spiral, because the healthcare that was offered was so bad that people wouldn't sign up until they got very sick. And that's a terrible way to actually run a health insurance program. And that's what we're doing in this country. And Donald Trump implemented a number of reforms to make healthcare more stable in this country. I'm not going to say that we fixed everything, because there's still a lot to do. But the guiding principle of Donald Trump's healthcare plan is, number one, we want people to be able to choose a healthcare plan that makes sense for their family. Number two, we want them to be able to choose a doctor and keep their doctor, not have their health insurance plan strip their doctor from them. And number three is we want transparency in the prices that people are paying. There's no service in the world where you go in and you have no idea what you're actually buying or how much you're actually buying it for. And we think that's one of the main reasons that healthcare is broken. And by the way, this looks or presents very different problems depending on the issue that we're talking about. Okay, so let me give you an example. You go into a hospital, you have a young family. I've heard this story so many times. Young family has a baby, and they're right at the right at the moment where the woman needs pain medication, and then they choose an out-of-network provider. And they get home, they got a $20,000 surprise medical bill. We gotta cut that crap out. We gotta stop that. Make sure that people know what they're buying, know what they're paying for. That's really important. But then let me give you another illustration of this problem. You all would probably be shocked to know, or maybe you wouldn't, that Europe pays lower prices for drugs that were invented in this country than Americans do. Well, that's unfair, and that's ridiculous, and Donald Trump's going to change it. In fact, he fought to change it his first 4 years, and then Biden and Harris undid all of his important work. People don't give Trump enough credit for this, but towards the end of his administration, he really took on big pharma so that Americans would pay lower costs for prescription drugs. He wants Europeans, in the same way that Europeans have to pay more for their own defense, they've also got to pay a little bit more for their own health care and stop freeloading off the United States of America. That'll lower costs for Pennsylvanians, and that's an important thing we got to do too. Thank you, sir.
What do you do? What would you like to do specifically to get young people, the opportunity to go to trade schools for?
Yes, sir.
For your academics, but we need welders, all that kind of folks as well.
Yes, we do.
All right, watching the campaign trail here, and we want to bring in our panel in a second. Vice President Harris is also campaigning in Pennsylvania today. She is in Bucks County, where she is doing an event with Republicans, holding a voter registration event in that county in 2007. A crucial factor that could swing the battleground state's 19 electoral college votes. That's why Pennsylvania is so important. So from there, she will sit down with special report anchor Brett Baer for her first interview on Fox News of this cycle. With that, we bring in Matt Gorman, targeted victory executive vice president and former senior advisor to Senator Tim Scott's campaign, and Will Williams, Fox News senior political analyst. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bob, let me start with you. What do you think about her decision to sit down with Brett Baer this evening? The campaign has been very reluctant to spend any time with the folks at Fox, and we're all looking forward to this.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I just think this is great, and it's something that I've done for a long time. I just think, Martha, it's a new audience. I agree. There are a lot of people, especially in the opinion leaders on Fox, who are pro-Trump, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't have an opportunity to reach a new audience in some ways. And I might add, I think there are a lot of people who are moderates and even liberals who watch Fox. But anyway, to get to your point, I think that she is very much interested in shaving away some of the non-Trump voters who are Republicans, people who voted for Nikki Haley during the primary. That's a substantial number of Republicans, if you recall. And so in the way that Trump is reaching out to minority voters, especially minority men, blacks, Latinos, to shave away at the number of minority voters who are voting for Harris, I think Harris is now looking at a lot of those non-MAGA Republicans, especially women, with the hope that she can reduce his advantage in some red counties in places like Pennsylvania.
So this is an interesting question, Matt. And if she goes from 88% of black male vote to something like 82, can she still win if she can shave off some of these white women, suburban voters that she is appealing to, and also moderate, some-moderate Republicans? It seems like that's the goal. Do you think that's a possible?
Yeah, for her it's necessary, right? I think stepping back, obviously, I think the Fox interview is a smart idea. I think Brett's going to do a great job tonight.
But you see Tim Walz going after men and talks to Joe Rogan. There's a big gender gap problem on the Democrat side when it comes to men. I mean, I think that what they are seeing here is the gender gap on their side of men is worse than ours necessarily with women.
What do you think it is, Matt? Why do you think that is?
They don't know how culture. It's the biggest thing, and this is under their nose for years now, right? We've talked a lot about Republicans and women and our issues. The male voters are slipping away for years. They haven't noticed it now. Look, the people living in Northern Virginia wearing the futurist these female shirts, they got those on lock. But it's the people who can talk about college football, who are, can talk about regular issues that, men can do. They have a hard time reaching those folks. And it's now, with Dukes to go, a big problem for them.
Yeah. She's going on Charlemagne the God and a number of other places. She promised to legalize marijuana. Trump has also supported that. And she has this program that is targeting black men, black men's opportunity. Does that resonate? I mean, is that a good way to go here? And it may not be a legal program, actually. It may run into some discriminatory issues if you try to allocate federal funds based on who they're going to.
Right, but I think she has to do the outreach. I think there was criticism that, some black actually, those who aren't really engaged, felt like she wasn't paying attention. I think what she said on Charlemagne was very clear that, you pick a way. Is she too tough as a prosecutor or not tough enough? And she said, I really was empathetic for people who just had some marijuana for private use.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions being raised over whether or not that's the way that people want to be reached. But we will see. 20 days to go. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Great to see you. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Lumify? It's kind of amazing. Wow. Lumify eyedrops dramatically reduce redness. 1 minute. And look at the difference. My eyes look brighter and brighter for up to 8 hours. Lumify really works. See for yourself. This message is for anyone and everyone with Medicare. Do you have the coverage you need? Medicare plans can change every year. And right now is the 2025 Medicare annual enrollment period. Do you know about Medicare Part C plans, also called Medicare Advantage? Are you confused about what a Medicare Part C plan covers and what benefits you can get in your zip code? Different Part C plans are available in different parts of the country. Do you have the coverage you need? 2025 Medicare Advantage plans are now available. So now's the time for everyone on Medicare to call for your free Medicare benefits checkup. Call the number on your screen to speak with a licensed insurance agent. Get your questions about your Medicare coverage answered and see what additional benefits are available to you in your zip code. A Medicare Part C plan could help you save money and include additional benefits. Enrollment in a Medicare Part C plan is not automatic. You should call now, even if you called last year. You could be eligible for plans with additional benefits or cost savings you may not be receiving now, or that may have previously not been available to you. Medicare Advantage plans can change every year. Call now before the Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. With just one call, you can see if there are changes to your plan in the coming year.
Don't think I'm quite the figure you make me out to be, though. It's nice to finally meet you, Spriggan. Sounds like we owe you for the other day.
Additional benefits didn't get last year. Call now during the annual enrollment period for your free 2025 Medicare benefits checkup. The call and Medicare benefits checkup are absolutely free. And
well, it's nice to meet you all the same.
Why are you being so friendly to him? This guy's been stealing our jobs and doing shady stuff for years. To be honest, we probably have reasonable grounds to apprehend him.
So like you to think. Jim, we have nothing to gain by associating with this man. Come what may, he will expertly skirt the line of legality and our code to avoid incriminating himself. We need not interact with him more than the bare minimum necessary to do our duties, as we did the other day. Be quiet, Van.
Size my pillow for just $18.88. King size only $1 more. And my body pillows for $29.88. And
Contract information exchanged with the Calvert Bridgester Code. Permission received.
Take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever on TV, including my standard size Bible, only at TV. They've never been offered this deal before. They have limited quantities at this price, so limits can be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone.
This is the easiest swap to help you keep waiting that really works. Luminal waiting strips plus luminal waiting toothpaste give you way more weight. It helps support enable health for healthy white teeth and looks so dainty. You can get Luminal at a Walmart truck.
This is our future, Mom. Go Daddy Hammer. Create the logo, website, even social. Minute. Wow. Way on. And your business on 90 minutes with GoDaddy Arrow. Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with
Visit SelectQuote.com now.
So right now, a memorial service for Ethel icon, medical activist, father of 11 children, probably known as America's Caroline. Passed away last week at the age of 96 following a stroke. Her son's struggling with his tennis child. Operated and pregnant for five years Fox News. So we are going to Douglas. Senior White House correspondent Peter Busey is reporting live from today's memorial. Here
Former presidents who are sitting on former presidents.
The function. This small woman with this huge smile and these twinkling eyes marches right up to me. It looks up at me, and I realize it's Apple Kennedy, which of course is even more disorienting. She looks up and she says, "Oh, I like you. You're going places." I thought you wanted to catch me out. She would flirt with me in the most innocent ways, but good Lord knows, if anybody ever deserves a quality escort to the pearly gates, it's me.
This afternoon's tribute to the late Ethel Kennedy committed St. Matthew's Circle. That is the same cathedral that was the site of President Kennedy's funeral.
Peter, thank you very much. Peter Busey reporting from the White House. And right now, President Harris is speaking in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Biden took Bucks County by 4 points in 2020. Checking for a minute here. Offended them. And now, the baton is in our hands. So I am joined today by over 100 Republican leaders from across Pennsylvania and across our country who are supporting my candidacy for President of the United States. And I am deeply honored to have their support. Some served in state houses, some in the United States Congress, some worked for other Republican presidents and presidential nominees, including Mitt Romney, John McCain, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, and Ronald Reagan. And some today served in Donald Trump's own administration. We also have with us Republican voters from here in Pennsylvania and beyond, who have been active in their Republican parties for years, who have supported Republican candidates up and down the ticket. Now, I say all that to make an obvious point. In a typical election year, you all being here with me might be a bit surprising. We are unusual. But not in this election. Not in this election. Because at stake in this race are the democratic ideals that our founders and generations of Americans before us have
Constitution of the United States is very self. We are here today because we share a core belief that we must put country before party. Indeed, because we chant that with such great pride, because we all know we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And at some point in the career of the folks who joined me on stage, one of the other things that we have in common is in our careers, we have each sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And so we know that sacred oath must always be honored and never violated. And that we should expect anyone who seeks the highest office in our land would meet.
Let's save it here.
We here know the Constitution.
Excellent. Catch you guys on the next one, all right? Peace out. Stay tuned.